Hello, my name's Giles Mooney. I'm one of the directors of Absolute Accounting Software. When it comes to payroll software, people tend to want something that is simple and easy to use, but is of course completely up to date. We've had RTI over recent years, but now also auto-enrollment. And I'm delighted to say that as far as our products are concerned, both RTI and auto-enrollment are at the heart of everything that happens within the software. You can use the software to calculate staging dates, to do returns, to calculate all sorts of information that is required, and of course file using the software. I'll now hand you over to Ashley Barnard, who will take you through exactly how to use the software.
To use the Absolute Payroll software, you need to double-click the Absolute icon on the desktop, which will open up Client Base. Through here, you need to set up the employer if it's not already an existing client in the database. To do this, you would just click Edit, New Client, and then complete the client information. Once the client is set up, you would highlight the limited company, click into the payroll icon, and then select Payroll. The software will always allow you to go back and view historical years if you need to reprint payslips or refile FPSs. Highlight the year you want to work on, and this will open up the payroll package. To set up the company details, you go to Company, Details, and this is where you set up the standing data for the company. You can also select whether the employment allowance is being claimed, and if the client is under auto-enrollment, you can select the pension provider from the list included, so that you can then export and upload to the pension provider after each pay period if they're under auto-enrollment. You can also, through the auto-enrollment option, set the start date and also the re-enrollment dates for the employer. You would also, under Company, select Pay Date so that you can then set for weekly or monthly paid the pay date for each employee. To set up the employees, you would click on to Add, and then you'd fill in the employee details. You can set up various departments. You can select whether the employee is a director, and then you'd click into Details to set up the standing data. If I show you for one that's already in the system, through here you can then set, for example, what their pay period is. And you can also go into Details to then say what their pension contributions and elect whether they are part of the pension scheme. To set up the pay periods, you would highlight each employee on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side you'd click Add, and then it will default to the next pay period. Using the pay date that has been set up against the employer, you can go in and edit if the employee has changed their pay date. You can set up a gross taxable pay, you can get the system to do net to gross, or you can click into Details button if you wanted to give a breakdown for the purposes of the payslip. So you can just enter standing data, and this will then feed through when you print the payslip for the employer. The other tabs that you have within the pay period are you can see the tax code for the employee. You can also get the system to calculate statutory payments. You can put in previous employment if it's a new employee. You can see the director's national insurance, the pension contributions per pay period, and it also deals with deductions such as tax credits and attachment of earnings. Once the pay period has been completed, you've then got the various tabs at the bottom, so you can go to the P11 to run the P11 report for the employee. You can click into Payslip, which will then produce a payslip for the employee. There are various templates within the system. It prints to both pre-printed stationery and also as a PDF to plain paper so that you can email it to the employee. To file online, you would then click the Payroll tab, and this allows you to print the weekly or monthly report and then submit the FPS to HMRC. If you click on to monthly, it then gives you the option of either saying no FPS at this time, which will produce the report that you can provide to the employer explaining what needs to be paid across to the revenue, or you can click on to standard FPS, and this will then produce the option to file online. So you would say transmit yes or no, and then at this stage it will ask you for your HMRC filing details, and it will then allow you to transmit to HMRC. If the employer is under auto-enrollment, if you go to File, you do have the option to export the pension data, which will then allow you to export into Excel so that you can upload onto the relevant pension provider's website.
If you'd like any further information, please either email sales@absolutetax.co.uk or call us on 01869 255 797.